I'm going to go ahead and call the June 25th Board of Trustees meeting to order and ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Do we have the agenda here?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There you go.
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Saturn,
Present.
Trustee Narodowski,
Present.
Trustee Ingraffia,
Present.
Trustee Keeley,
Present.
and Supervisor Sweeney.
Present. All right, any public comments? Okay, seeing none, move on to item D, consent agenda. I'm going to go ahead and remove, as I had stated in my memo, I'm going to go ahead and remove item 3 from the consent agenda so we can vote on it separately. Any other items to remove from the consent agenda or any discussion? Okay, so with item 3 removed, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So be it.
All right, moved by trustee Nuredowski,
Second.
seconded by trustee Ingraffia. Any further discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Saturn,
Aye.
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
Trustee Ingraffia,
Aye.
Trustee Keeley,
Aye.
and Supervisor Sweeney.
Aye. Okay, can I have a motion to approve Resolution 2018-05, Andrea Koshaba recognition?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Saturn,
Second it.
seconded by trustee Nuredowski. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Saturn, Trustee Saturn,
Aye.
Trustee Narodowski,
Aye.
Trustee Ingraffia,
Aye.
Trustee Keeley,
Aye.
and Supervisor Sweeney.
I abstain. Okay, so resolution was passed 4-0-0, or 4-0-1. Okay, item E, discussion and potential action on approval of minutes. You've had a chance to review the May 21st board meeting minutes. Any questions, concerns, or changes? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 21st meeting?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Ingraffia, is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by trustee Keenly. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I believe Andrea Koshaba could not make it tonight, so I think we're going to move this item to the July agenda. Item F to the July agenda. Reports, assessor. Connie?
Good evening. You have my written report. I do find it imperative to let you know that the tax bills, surprisingly, will in fact be out on time after we had been told to expect a 2 to 3 week delay. The bills are currently on the treasurer's website and can be paid online at this point in time, but the bills will be in the mail by July 1st, due and payable August 1st. As another agenda item, my staff and I went down to the county on Thursday to be apprised of where they were in replacing the ESA 400 and to get our input on some of the screens that we feel would be essential to assisting our taxpayers. I would like to tell you it was more of a success than it was, but it seems like at this point they're not quite where they should have been before they brought us down. I think you'll agree with me on that, Lori. There were a lot of screens that had no data so that they could not demonstrate the navigation of various systems. The one heartening thing was that the total program, once it is completed, should be extremely helpful to us. But I'm a little reticent to say that I think it'll be on time. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'll be delighted to answer them.
One curiosity question, and I don't necessarily expect you to know the answer to it, but do you know who is doing that program for the assessor's office? I mean, is it in-house?
No.
Or did they go
It is a
outside?
company out of Plano, Texas,
Okay.
that won the bid on this. And I want to say Tyler Technologies. They did all of the input for all of Great Britain. However, I think they're finding it challenging that our system is so unique in that we have a system of antiquated characteristics and classification, and that makes it very, very difficult. So, yes, it's,
They didn't go in-house, they went out-of-house.
they went out of
Yeah.
house. But they have been actually working on this for 2 years, and they are assuming that it will not be completed for another 2 years.
Just another curiosity question. 33,000 files.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to digitalize them, okay? Now, what do we do with the files? Do they get shredded then?
Yes.
Okay.
We do not keep originals. Originals go to the county. And so what we keep is copies. And generally, we have had a file for every PIN in our jurisdiction, so that if there is an inquiry, we have at least some record of what's gone on with the property. With the digitization, this will allow us to eliminate several of our file cabinets, and it will also allow staff, instead of going to a file, to be able to just pull it up on the screen. The other thing is that to enhance this particular program, each of my staff will have a scanner, so that when we're doing this, it immediately scans in. And it's been a very daunting task for staff, because the first thing you have to do is purge those files. We're getting rid of things that we don't need. The things that we do need are sales, their permits, et cetera, and those are being put in order so that when they're scanned, we know exactly what order they're going to come up in. Now, will there possibly be some errors? We're finding some misfiling, which is a good thing right now with purging them, but this should be very, very efficient in the future.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Connie? Okay, clerk's report, George?
I have a written report in the package regarding a couple FOIAs, and then also just a reminder that the procedures for establishing regular board meeting agenda items, the final copy of that with the changes that were required by the board is included in that package too.
Any questions for George? Okay. All right, Highway Commissioner, Art?
Well, we're continuing to try to finalize the largest infrastructure project of Elk Grove Township, which we've been named. We're gonna probably go over the one or two more times with our engineer, Mark Thole Associates. And this week, Wednesday or Thursday, go over, make sure we cross all the Ts, dot the Is, and go over everything. Hopefully, we will have the bids go out Friday or next Monday. We're really excited about this. This is more than just a Band-Aid, which has been happening in the past. So we're going to do major repairs on the roads, as well as a lot of drainage, which is going to be more and more of a problem every day. That's about it right now. So.
All right, any questions for Art? Okay, thanks, Art. All right, no correspondence, nothing under old business. Okay, under new business, there's one item, Ordinance 2018-06, authorization, authorizing execution of the intergovernmental agreement by and between the Township of Elk Grove and Elk Grove Township Highway Department to loan money from the town fund to the road fund for road and drainage improvements. So, as I stated in my memo to the board, to all the elected officials last week, as Paul and I have been investigating going out and getting a loan from a financial institution, the loans are available. That's never been the problem. Right now, we're looking at loan around the 5% area. That's the best it looks like we're going to be able to do, maybe a little higher, maybe a little bit lower, depending on how interest rates fluctuate. But really, what we're being told is going out really beyond 7 years is really going to take some, we have to jump through a lot of hoops. And so thinking through some of the options, Paul and I reached out to the attorney as we were brainstorming ideas to see if it was legal for the town fund to loan the money to the Road and Bridge Department, and indeed it is, as long as the loan does not go past 10 years. Based on that, and calculating the interest that we're receiving right now on our money in town fund and our CDs, which is about 2%. I talked to Art, and he was agreeable to a 2.5% interest rate obviously to pay back over a 10-year term. And so that's what I'm proposing to the board tonight, so that we don't, like Art said, he's been working hard on this, we can put aside the Band-Aids and really fix the problems of the drainage that compounds the damage to the road when obviously water doesn't drain away from the roads properly, and we can have a long-term fix. The Highway Department has roughly a little over $800,000 in reserves right now. We figure even with some overages, if the Highway Department has to kick in $300,000 to $400,000, you're still looking at about $400,000 to $500,000 in reserve that they can use for emergencies and the like. Over what you have here, the amortization schedule is obviously, well, what it allows the Highway Department to do, the Highway Commissioner to do, is pay back the principal and interest on the loan annually, but also put approximately $100,000 into reserve. The goal is that the Highway Department never has to borrow money again. And over 10 years, let's say the Highway Department's left with $500,000 in reserve to start. Over the course of the 10-year term, he'll be able to put away $1 million, leaving $1.5 million in reserve. We anticipate these being 15-year roads or better. So that next 10 to 15 years, you're looking at being able to put all of those capital funds, not having to pay a loan, be able to put another $1 million potentially in reserves over that next 5 years. So looking at 2.2 to 2.5 million in reserve, that way in 15 years, the Road and Bridge Department is in a very good position to essentially use the funds on hand to be able to fund another capital project. And the best part about it, the town fund's not losing the interest. Potentially down the road, there might be some opportunity costs as interest rates rise. That is a potential, risk that we needed to talk about. Not a risk, but we are losing that opportunity cost if interest rates rise above 2.5%. But the Highway Department and the taxpayers would be saving a lot of money in interest. We're looking at potentially $160,000, maybe more, in interest payments. So, with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Would it take, how many years would it take for the loan to be, it's a 10-year term loan. Will it have to be renewed or will it be paid off in 10 years?
It'll be paid off in 10 years, and at any point in time, the Highway Department could pay it off in full. I mean, if they have the funds available. And at that point, if they paid it off early, even better, they could put, right now, we're budgeting about $225,000 in road construction and maintenance. Let's say they paid it off in 5 years, paid off the loan in 5 years, you're looking at being able to put all of that money directly into reserves, because again, these roads we're anticipating being 15, 18-year roads, maybe more, depending on the traffic, and we're anticipating fixing these drainage issues will help these roads in some of the areas like Branniger last longer.
The fund, the township fund right now, what's the interest rate that we're getting on that?
Depending on the CDs, we have approximately $4.5 million in reserve, just under $1.5 million in cash, $3 million in investments. We had $500,000 just come up. We renewed it just over 2%. And then so 500,000 is staggered every 6 months. So I'd have
So
to look at all the interest rates.
the-
Obviously, they fluctuate based on the term.
2% is, 2.5% is,
Is above
generally.
what we're getting now. We
Okay.
anticipate with interest rates rising, that, like I said, I mean, I want to be upfront. There are probably some opportunity costs that we'll lose. But as the highway department pays back the funds, we'll be able to invest that, money every year so that at least a portion of what's paid back we'll be able to invest immediately, so.
So it's 3 million, and that's staggered at 500,000 how often?
6 months.
6 months. And right now, the most recent interest on the most recent tranche that you reinvested was 2.1 or something?
It's like 2.05, I think it was,
Okay.
yeah, 2.05, yeah. And then right about the time where we'd have to, we're anticipating having to pay, transfer the funds to the highway department in November. $500,000 in CDs would come up, available, in addition to our tax, the tax revenue coming in, August, September-ish. So we'll have the funds readily available, without negatively impacting township operations at all.
And the loan's going to be made in one, or is it going to be layered in as it's needed to be paid?
We're gonna transfer the 1.2 million. He's gonna use every dime of that 1.2 million. It's an extensive project. But to kind of add on that, the contractor might bill us based on how far
I'm sure
they
he
get
would
in the,
pay, yeah.
so, yeah. Any other questions? Is this any thoughts about going this route? All right, then can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2018-06?
so moved.
Moved by trustee Ingraffia. Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by trustee Keenly. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Saturn?
Aye.
Trustee Narodowski?
Abstain.
Okay. Trustee Ingraffia?
Aye.
Trustee Keenly?
Aye.
Supervisor Sweeney?
Aye. Okay, ordinance 2018-06 passes on first reading, so bypasses a second reading with a vote of 4-0 to 1. Okay, all right, no matters under executive session. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Saturn,
Second it.
seconded by trustee Nwardowski. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.